Welcome to another episode of the APL Spotlight series, an offshoot of the APL show, which is Angels, Positivity, and Love. We have amazing guests from all over the world with incredible insights, wisdom to share with you. Plus, quite often they take steps on the show that you as the audience can take as well. That's interacting with the universe, angels, guides, figures from India, Native American chiefs, you name it. At the very least, I light some sage. You can catch it through two screens wherever you are in the world. I guess the bottom line, if I had to say what the show's all about, it's remember to remember, if you can remember, when you remember. What? Love. Show love always. Try to be a little more open when you can. Less thinking, 7% a day, an angel named Charlotte said, is the secret formula. With that, I'm having an amazing guest come back to us from Santa Barbara, California. Temple Hayes. She wears many hats, has been around a long time. Great sense of humor, super intuitive, and she's a shaman, healer, mystic, reverend on two different fronts, author, 3 books, speaker, in demand, and so on. But I like to say she keeps it real and she helps a lot of folks. So, Temple, welcome back to the show. Great to see you again.
Oh, thank you. It's my pleasure to be with you. I, like you, have been on many shows. Meaning experience is the point. And I love being on your show because you are not in a box, you're not reading a script, and you allow spirit to truly flow, not only for the guests, but for the people that are listening in. That's so impressive. It takes a lot for people to let go. And I'm so glad you have.
Oh, Temple, thank you. And Happy New Year to everybody and Merry Christmas belatedly. But you should have already been checking out the show. You know there's a Christmas tree there. You've gone through Christmas, I hope, in an awesome way at home. With that, we're going to follow your advice. We're going to go with the flow. I'm going to light some sage early. We usually do all the good
Hmm.
stuff at the end of the show. So we're like that rare show you want to stick around to the very end for a reason. A lot of the fun stuff happens. Plus, we've had balls of light fly by the screen, angels actually showing up. And I can say it now, I was real shy about this, but during the summer, we had interdimensional Jesuses, plural, goes straight up. If you can figure out what show that is, contact me directly and I'll figure something out to say thank you. Okay, here's some sage, more importantly. Here's a lighter. And the most important thing, and the only rule I've got, or bit of structure, if I can remember, is set your intent. Ask the universe, angels, to get in here, get you out of your head, into your heart, and catch the scent of sage. Temple, we already know you can do this. We were doing it before the show, but in a second, you may already be getting it right now as we're just lighting it. No smoke yet.
Hmm.
And at home, you don't have to just catch. Why go linear, which is what we do all day long? Catch sage, flowers, and ocean. Triple tiered tiramisu, no calories. And then you're in Santa Barbara, California. Are you already getting the sage, but are you getting flowers?
Oh, yeah.
And I'll blow to my microphone up here. Catch a little Hawaii on your nose. And we're about to get you talking for a little while. I'm going to snub this out. But more importantly, I'm going to put up Joy and we'll get you talking right now. What does she have as that golden first topic? Where are you going to take us?
She wants me to talk about joy. I love the word joy, Michael. The acronym of joy is just open yourself. It's counterintuitive to the way that often our culture teaches us. We're informed that you've been hurt, don't give so much next time. Your dog died, that's what's going to happen. Don't put yourself through that again. It's a closed chakra. It's closing the energy of your heart. Real joy, life, youth. The reason you're so young, the reason I'm so young, regardless of the age of our years, is because we continue to open our heart, not only as large as it was open last year or the year before, but even more so because we allow the energy in the present. So I think that's very important for people to understand is that the heart chakra is a receiving valve. And so it's being open and allowing. That's important. And my puppy agrees.
Temple, we had puppy difficulties, some barking going on, and we're cool. We're back. I'm putting up Joy the Angel. This is an actual photograph of an angel. People can put their hand up and feel the vibe. If you don't mind doing that, put your hand up, feel some sparkle, warmth, but try too hard, you'll get it on your toes or on your back. And if people want to go crazy, catch a little pink glitter in the air around you. There's no limits. What are you allowing for? What does she have for a first topic for all of us?
The word joy. The angel joy is wanting me to talk about joy. And that being said, joy, I love to use joy, and I have been since I was studying shamanism for 10 years, starting at 38 years old. Joy means just open yourself. And that was an immense learning for me when I would study people that were older beyond their age years, people that were closed, the energetic, don't look up, don't see, don't allow. And so in those conversations or looking at how do I want my life to be different, it was being in the practice of joy, just open yourself. In other words, in our culture, we're often taught somewhat of the opposite direction. I don't blame you. I wouldn't date and let somebody else in my heart because you're going to go through pain. Oh, I would never marry again because of what happened 25 years ago. Oh, I'm not going to get a dog because they go early on and you have to go through all that again. For me, the practice, as you know, of talking about when did you die energetically, and that being my life commitment of that young, vibrant energy, it's about realizing that I'm cheating myself. When I close my heart because of something that may or may not ever happen to me, I'm the one that's depleting myself of the energy that's available to me. And so the heart chakra is the bridge between the root, emotional, mental. You teach this stuff all the time, but it's the bridge. And when we think about a bridge, what does it help us do? Get to the other side, get to the other direction. So when we have our heart open to receive, just open yourself, joy, it allows ourselves to have a greater I am throat warrior, dynamic communication presence, and it activates the third eye in a greater way. And we have the glow. So if we spend all of our energy with our root chakra grounded emotional relationships and in that mentalizing, what if, and that's, and we're not getting to the bridge, to me, we miss out on so much joy that's available. So I feel it's very important to have that understanding. The other part of it, Michael, is I've had people come up to me after a talk and say, "You're like one of the most joyful people that I've ever met. What's your secret?" And I said, the secret for me was in a vision or with a spirit journey of guidance. What I got is that joy is not awaiting the absence of something else. It's kind of like the bumper sticker, I'll be happy when. Joy, when you look at Buddha, and I know you're so about this and you teach this all the time, when people would say, "Oh my gosh, the Buddha laugh," the Buddha laugh, oh, it's so deep, it's so dynamic, the Buddha laugh. And he would look as if to say, "Well, I've also gone through immense pain. The more I experience the pain, the deeper and the greater my laugh." So joy is not the absence of sadness. And in that comes for so many people the path of resistance. Well, I want to be joyful like so and so, but I'm just really sad right now. Wonderful. Be both simultaneously. It's like watch children, right? Watch children. 1 minute they're You got me a toy? You have me a gift? What? We're going where? That is the way we can be. We've just put parameters and definitions and labels on our lives.
You can be happy now in this very moment without a single reason. I know you talk about the dynamic between living and dying in each moment. Um, and you mentioned it already at the earlier part of your talk.
Mhm.
Talk to us more about how we do shut down so much that we're cutting off the actual flow, our connection to all of life.
Yeah, it's, when we look at when do we die as a culture, there's so many people that put emphasis on we're born one time, we die one time, that's it. And you get sold a lot of goods in the meantime with being afraid or being limited or this is all you got and then one day you're going to wind up in gold and you're just going to sleep. I can't imagine that being something that would be interesting to anyone, but it's something that for years and years and years, my daddy did, my mother's daddy did, and that daddy did, and that mother did. And it's just like, that's what I'm going to go along with. But in 2024, 2025, 2026, the awakening, the age of Aquarius, there are many people that have awakened to the fact, and teachers like myself, that dying in the human sense, yeah, that's one thing. But our deeper concern is not dying while we're living. And that is an energy, it's an essence, because many of us believe there's many, many lifetimes and feel very comfortable with that understanding and that experience. However, it's about an energy field that it's a misunderstanding. It's counterintuitive. If you say, Temple, I know you went through a lot, your family, they disown you because of your sexuality and because you were metaphysical. The only person in town that was metaphysical probably still is the only person that ever lived there in that town that's metaphysical. You're this, and we don't know what to do with you and all of that. And one would say, as I got the download from God at 5, or spirit or angels, you are here for a message to the world. I don't know if the word world was applicable as a 5-year-old, but I got it. I got the download. And now I find myself in all this drama and discounting and rejection and abandonment and all the things, and my family members not making eye contact with me at Thanksgiving. Well, I could have just stayed in the drink and stayed in the drugs and poor little me and just joined that club for the rest of my life. The understanding is I was in training, and it wasn't really designed to take away from me. It was designed to enhance and expand me. So it's the opposite of how we are programmed from our little days of education. You got to walk in the lines and you have to be a certain way. I've met many healers, as I know you have, that aren't doing the work. In other words, they aren't expressing the work, they're not sharing the work because they are going through some problems. And yet, that is what expands us to teach from depth and more than just a motivational concept. People can feel the depth because we have that clarity of purpose.
So awareness for mankind is on the horizon. There's awareness
Hmm.
here, love, timelessness, limitlessness, connection to all. And then
Hmm.
there's thinking. And thinking's fear, stress, worry, rejecting, resisting, blah, blah, blah. Knowledge that precludes possibility. Most of our current currency that we use daily, I'll still go back to thinking when we're done taping. But
Hmm.
I'll try to be in my heart a little more. Here's Charlotte, an angel who's like everybody's favorite school teacher from third grade, third form if you're in Canada. Hear from Charlotte something about this whole more consciousness coming in for man.
Mm.
And what'd you get?
Well, earlier we were talking about Thich Nhat Hanh, and I love his work and I love his wisdom. And a quote that I said in my last talk is Thich Nhat Hanh said that people are fascinated with the ability as a miracle to walk on water. And he said he's more interested in people that can walk on the earth and stay in a place in the believability of peace. Powerful.
I like that. Let's bring him in and have
Okay,
him
let's
add
bring him
another
in.
chapter for you to take us somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
But if people want to close their eyes, they can catch a Vietnamese, we could even make it Laotian to shake it up, Vietnamese Buddhist temple incense in the air. Catch those musical instrument things that make the sound out of a temple. And if you want to put a hand up to the sky out in front of you or just on your own heart, people can get extra vibe or love. Have them come in and just address you directly. And if you have any difficulty, put a hand on your heart. Ask angels to get you out of your head into your heart. Tell them to make it nice. And then own it with a thank you, Om Saram, Amen, whatever way you roll. What'd you get?
The message came through very strongly is to ask people to give up labels. It is what it is. And there's energy in what is. And our label often creates the expectation and the attachment to the outcome. So we look for the outcome, we project the outcome, and we anticipate the outcome. And that is what we receive. Whereas if we just, what is, what is, what shall be, and we pay attention, um, there's messages all around us.
I'll put up Archangel Michael and he'll provide 3 reminders that we're going to have you go into some of them afterwards on how we can all just slow our roll and walk a smoother path daily. But here's Archangel Michael. Let's get the first reminder from him and then have you talk about it if that makes sense.
Absolutely. You know, for me, Archangel Michael, and like you, before I go into a sleep state, I call forth Michael and Gabrielle, Uriel, and the other one I'm just freeloading isn't coming, but you know it. Um, I call them in to bless the energy of the dream state. But when I opened my heart just now, what I got is the importance to have times of silence, to have times of silence. And you can label that, but you don't need to. Silence can be 5 minutes. It can be just taking a 15-minute nap. It can be just the stillness. It can be a walking meditation around your neighborhood. But what it does is in the archetypal world of shamanism, as Angelus Arian taught so well, and I have continued to teach because it's changed my life. If you look at like the teacher archetype, so as we're coming into the holidays and Hanukkah and Kwanzaa and Christmas and the different energies of that and solstice, there's something that happens. Could be people are off their diet and eating more sugar. It could be just the emotions that we're lining up with emotions generation after generation. It could be a number of things. But the point is that we're more vulnerable. And what happens often in our humanity when we become more vulnerable, we lock into becoming more controlling. And so the shadow of a teacher archetype says they become self righteous. Well, if you do it that way, well, I don't understand that. Become adamant, controlling, wanting to have a script to go by, and those kind of faculties. Whereas the silence of the teacher says everyone is where they're supposed to be. All is happening the way it's supposed to happen. When it's done, and all is well. And it's so powerful. It's so powerful for especially people that measure their worth by how many views or likes they have on social media platforms. It's about the right people are there. They're always the right people. There's the right consciousness that's prevailing for the right moment at the right time. And it's so freeing because you align with words like infinity rather than just using them. You believe in them and the possibilities. So that's what Archangel Michael gave me today. Michael. Michael,
Truly
Michael.
beautiful. I loved it. I'm gonna put up a photo, traditional photo, drawing, painting. If you're from Ireland or Europe or anywhere in the globe, this is usually how you think of Big Mary. But just
Mhm.
lock that in. I'll put up a modern version that I like a lot. But a photograph. This is a historical photograph of someone I'm borrowing as the image of Big Mary. We know photographs can't move or sparkle more, or the eyes light up more, or even a smile that's almost a smile turns into a smile, but not so. Allow for what you can allow for. And Temple, if you don't mind letting us know when you see the photograph move in the middle of hearing the next topic.
Mhm.
If you want rainbow glitter all over the room, you won't have to vacuum later, but it'll be good cheer and holiday feel in the air, thanks to Mary. Have angels kick in a little extra. Anybody needs help, breathe through the mouth. Let the shoulders go up and down. If you're a professional nose breather, 1 out of 100 folks, fine, but let the shoulders go up and down because you're really doing the bellows in those shoulders. And catch it in your own apartment, house. If you're outdoors, see it around you in the air. 90 degrees peripherally if you're resisting. The ego says, no way, Jose. I don't want to have any glitter in my life right now. But let the universe angels do a little sparkly stuff all around you. Temple, are you getting a little glitter in the air right now?
I am.
I didn't do it. Okay, what's Mary saying? And did you get a movement in the photograph as well?
And Mary is very clear that the answer is within. It's not so much the answer is within that is the challenge. It's the resisting the answer. Because giving us full credit as human beings, we are willing at times to just quote unquote throw in the towel, to go, well, just tell me what you're doing. Just give me the answer so I don't have to do any research, and I want this to be over and I want it to go away. And there is no one size fits all other than how belief works, other than the spirit world of what is possible. But when it comes to certain things, in other words, I you may know, you may not, but I am vegan, and it's interesting being around people that love their meat, and love their beef, and love their cow, and love their lamb, and love their and they want to get in this thing with me, which I am very unwilling to go. And I always say, I'm not here for the club. I was an All-American softball player. I believe in a team. But when it comes to the individuation of your alignment with spirit, I'm not looking for a team. I'm not looking to enroll you to become like me. And it's not like I read Medical Medium or I read a magazine, this would be the way to go, or listen to TikTok. Oh, you're in your 60s now, and here's what you need to do. It was a long journey that led me to knowing what is right for me at this particular time. Will I be that way for the rest of my living life? I have no idea, but I have been since 2007, and it works for me. And so, when we are allured by trends, it can be worth exploring, but the answer of your path is really within you. I was on a show not long ago as they were interested because I have 37 years sobriety. And they were going, and don't you, and isn't it a struggle? And don't you find it hard? And during certain times of the year, you find it more difficult. And it's like, no. Mm-mm. No, difficult was apologizing for myself. Difficult was not remembering where my car was. Difficult was calling Michael and saying, do you know what I did last night? Because I don't remember. That was difficult. listening to the answer that said within me, the angels and the guides that said, don't do that again, it's been really effortlessly. It's because we teach people it's got to be hard, it's got to be complicated, it's going to be, just dread and all of this. And there's a belief about that. So one size doesn't fit all. You may not need to be a victim. You might feel like this is one of the easiest things you've done in your life. But if you hang out with people that always tell you how hard it is, could be that it's going to rub off on you. So it's real important to know, according to Mary, Big Mary, that the answer is within. That's how the origination of birth happens, a lasting birth. A Christ birth is born within me, is born within Michael, is born within the hundreds of thousands of people watching this over time. Is that a real birth requires the individuation of knowing you're birthing the answer that you've been given. And ultimately, that's the only one that will work. So it's very important to hear the words of Thich Nhat Hanh, that peace is about how you walk on this earth as you, because you really can't, I know there's lots of bumper stickers, but you really can't fake it. I mean, you can. Um, but in time, it catches you. You get several ideas or thoughts or recognitions or things that don't work or things that won't flow that are inviting you to go back here with Big Mary to find your answer.
Thich Nhat Hanh, pieces every step, to do a pun off of his book title. I have 18 pages of random quotes from Winnie the Pooh to Krishnamurti to Buddha to you name it, Eckhart Tolle. I'm going to pick a few and then have you react to one, all of them, or all of them may just generate another response from you.
Okay.
Here's an anonymous one. What you know equals your limits. Here's another one. Eckhart Tolle, The Power of Now. All inner resistance is experienced as negativity in one form or another. All negativity is resistance. And then Winnie the Pooh. We can't all, and some of us don't. That's all there is to it. What's your takeaway from those?
Mm.
And I have one more for you. In the end, love is what shows us life in different colors.
Yeah.
And that's
Joy.
from a Netflix film.
That's the immeasurable, immense joy of life is to stay open. To me, the weaving in of all of those quotes is the idea of, I'll be home for Christmas. I'll be home. Home is the expansion of being comfortable with oneself. I realize now, looking back over the years of my life, if I were being gifted at an altar of my own understanding, I mean, I'm named Temple, there must be something to that. In a Southern Baptist community, that's my grandfather's middle name. So trust me, there was no Age of Aquarius metaphysical meaning behind that, perhaps for me, but not for others. But when I think of, if I had been asked, what is the one thing of all things that you would love as a gift, and we're going to send it to you right now, and you're going to have it all your life, I would say to be comfortable with myself, to be comfortable with myself, with my esteem, with my assertiveness, with my energy, to be comfortable. Why is that important? As all those quotes were inviting us to do, it's important because when you are comfortable with yourself, there's no fighting, there's no defending, there's no blaming a parent for who you are. It's you're comfortable with who you are. You can see through many different windows of various things and allow yourself to go, I'm still sending out the vibration of being grounded in life's possibilities. You know, I was watching the other night, Michael, a movie from 1941, Meet John Doe. Have you seen it? It's a must. Meet John Doe, black and white. And I found myself, being so modernized. And I go, oh, it's black and white. I don't know, I don't know. One of the best movies that I've seen. Powerful, powerful, powerful. But it's about a man that over time he becomes comfortable with what his role in life is. And it changes not only him, but it activates other people being comfortable within their own being, So, anyway, just powerful.
I love it. There's a 19, I think it's 40 film that I have on my website under extras, and there's suggested reading, but that's not just books, it's movies and so on. But Lucky Partners, I
Lucky
argue it's a
partner.
Guardian Angel movie, and it's 4 years before It's a Wonderful Life. So it's
Mm,
#1 Hollywood film director, Lewis Milestone, who did Ocean's 11, All Quiet on the Western Front, Pork Chop Hill, like 40 top films. Ginger Rogers, when she was 27, top #1 paid actress is in it. And #2 is Ron Coleman, the British guy. And he's the guardian angel. And she's about to get married and get taken off to Poughkeepsie. And she's never going to see the world. And that's it. Her whole storyline is over at that point. It's a really famous actor. I can't remember his name, big guy. But David, her guardian angel, walks in. He's walking down the street one day, sees her, and just wishes her good luck for no reason. And she stops and says, "Did you just wish me good luck?" And he's like, "Yes, I did." Well, huh. And then she starts to have good luck. And then it gets into her head. She gets gifted, like back then, a $2,000 dress is no small shakes. So she gets gifted out of the blue a $2,000 dress, and it's a long story. But she figures out there's a horse race, sweepstakes ticket thing in England. And she wants to go in on this ticket 50-50 because she's got a hunch and she knows that guy's lucky if she can find him again. Now, what she doesn't know is that all these angel movies, you got to have free will. You got to ask for the help. And so he says, I'll only enter in on this sweepstakes ticket thing with you if you allow me to take my half of the future winnings and spend it on your honeymoon. And I'll take you, the 60-year-old guy with the 27-year-old girl, I'll take you all over the world and show you what the world is all about. It's based on Sacha Cohen's Bon Chance, a very salacious 1920s script where it's a 60-year-old guy dating a 20-year-old something. This is the
mm,
opposite. It's platonic. It's a real angel story. And so he does a little bit throughout the film. You don't know this movie because it goes off the rails in the last 10 minutes, but that's okay. It's a beautiful film. It reminds me of what you were just talking about with Meet John Doe. And
mhm.
those black and whites, I'd argue they're pretty organized most of the
Oh,
time.
yeah.
Have it together.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
Absolutely. The message is so incredible, though. And what you'll see is the same things that were going on then are some of the same things that are going on now.
Yes, indeedy.
Politically, education,
Yep. And the
awareness.
Hayes codes were in that movie, which were a big thing because they've been going on for at least 10 or 12 years. That regulated about 70 aspects of film and went all the way to like 1970, 74. Jack
Mm,
Valente of the Motion Picture Association continued its censorship essentially of all different types, continued it voluntarily on behalf of Hollywood, self censorship all the way into the 1970s. So from the 1930s, I think it was. Preventing a black man from kissing a woman, cigar use or something like that, any sexual references. There were like 50 categories, racial,
mm,
this and that. And so self censorship was going on. At the end, the reason why the film goes off the rails is a judge ends up forcing the guardian angel to marry his ward. It was a platonic movie, and then they're forced to get married. He apologizes, though, on behalf of the United States government to artists, musicians, and everybody who's been censored. And yet, the irony is he can't help himself. The US government
mm.
representative still, wreaks havoc by doing control and forcing the two to get married at the end. Speaking of black and white, I've got a black piece of paper here. Blue sky works great. I'm going to show my light, Temple. You don't have to show yours, but I'm going to put my fingers up and have light flow between my fingers. It's chakras, it's colors, it's Christmas,
Mm,
whatever color you see. But a new thing, which I don't know if we've done, you and I, is you don't just see the aura and feel it and blah, blah, blah. It's like when Piglet asks Winnie the Pooh, how do you spell love? And Winnie the Pooh says, you don't spell it, you feel it. That's what
yeah.
this is. Your heart's already seeing the colors everywhere on your dog, the trees. You can ask
Mhm.
the universe, though, to do something extra once you get past the initial seeing my light. Have the universe joy bring in sleigh bells, bring in butterflies, bring in a geometric shape. Who knows? I'm going to tell a dad joke more importantly. And you've already heard this one, but if we're lucky, you'll laugh a second time. Santa's reindeer, this is my favorite joke. Santa's reindeer, Blitzen and Dancer, just those two. Why do they drink so much coffee? Answer, because they're Santa's Starbucks. If you're laughing, you're letting go, you're in your heart. See a little filament of light between my fingers. Temple, what colors do you
Mhm.
see between my fingers?
I see purple.
Okay, now I'm going to pick it up, go bigger and broader. Ask Joy and all the other angels, your angels, to do something extra. See bells, see a geometric pattern, a ball of light, a vortex. What do you see? A ribbon, cotton candy?
Mm.
What do you got?
Yeah, I see like a green ball that's getting larger and larger, enveloping everyone that's listening today, including myself and you.
Oh, I didn't do it. Blame angels, don't blame Canada. Bravo. And what does this all mean? How can we have light all of a sudden when it wasn't there before? Or is everything is love a constant and we just have to slow our roll long enough to reattach or get connected to love that's within us? How's this all work again?
Well, that's a journey. Um, I know I was interviewing someone not long ago. She was talking about her husband, the scientist, and she said, he's a scientist because he knows that to ask questions to get the answer. However, because so many people say, I just need the answer, I need the answer. And he was about, no, it's about asking the question. You get the answer. And she said, and then he will question the answer. Ooh, expansiveness, right? And and so what do I think it's all about? I really, I mean, I still come back to the mystery of the divine is it's inside of you. And it's that great mystery. And some of it we will figure out by answering the right question and getting the right answer and questioning that. And part of it is we will be on the quest, as in the question, it's quest, I on. I'm on a quest. And it's been my richest journey. Um, if you had told me with all of the people in my life, I had all my great grandparents, my great aunt and uncles. Cousin died drowning, another one announcing he's a preacher getting killed in an accident. And I'm still just 17. Okay, get that. So lots of death, and it's my life teaching, no doubt about it. That being said, understanding death, working with it, knowing on one level we don't really die. But if you had said, wow, when your mom dies, Temple, it's going to be really hard, I'd go, no, mm-mm. I've done what I can. I've loved her with all my heart, blah, blah, blah. But what I realized is that I held my breath when I got the call. Your mom, Temple, she died. What? She died. Call me back. I can't breathe. What was happening to me as my soul, I was being born again. My cords were being cut, and there came this birth of energy, like cocoon to wine ending as a butterfly. And I wouldn't let anybody cheat me from it. I wouldn't let anybody tell me, well, you know better, and she's not really gone, and and you are a good daughter and all that, because I was being born again. So allow yourself, as you're celebrating births of other nature, of other religiosity or whatever, never to forget that when you have moments come to you, they don't feel like light. They're light being disguised, that they are part of the shadow work you are to do in your humanity. And when we think that just being all lit up and enjoy is just all there is, we disconnect from creation. Because if darkness wasn't necessary, it wouldn't have been created. So it's part of, it's not the darkness that brings us pain, it's the resistance of it that makes it linger. So I just love being with you, Michael.
Um,
You
I'll
are
add
such a
something.
gift to this world.
Thank you very much. I'll add something Three Chiefs said like probably 10 years ago. I need to hear it 100 times to remember it, but I can remember a few things. It was feel what you feel, do not judge. With that, I'm going to do a quick lightning like game show lightning round here. I'll put up three Native American chiefs, Dolnay, Fred Shirt, Geronimo. Get something from them privately, get a hug, and then get something for public consumption. Then we're going to go to the Amazon jungle. And remind me that I said Amazon jungle because I do have Jaguar spirit for you. We're going to have a blast
Mm-hmm.
with that. But here's Dolnay, very down to earth. Cheyenne, original name was Morningstar, historical figure. He's wisdom with humor. But if you want to catch one of those sacred scents. There's like 50, 60 of them. Tobacco, sweetgrass, juniper, cedar, pine, desert pinon. What are you getting in the air? And what are you hearing? Get something private from Dull Knife as well. Get a hug.
I hear drumming.
Ooh. And then what's he have as a reminder for everybody in 2025 and beyond?
He really feels excitement and enthusiasm about the next that is embedded within all of us and all sentient beings. And the other part that someone else said on one of the interviews I did, and I believe this, we're going to see more and more of the evolution of animals, and they're going to teach us things that we have refused to learn. So it's
I love it.
coming. And I don't mean it in like this, the end of the world.
Hmm.
I mean it as the opening of the heart. You know, we're already seeing more and more of animals that find their way home and ring the doorbell. We're going to be seeing more and more of those kind of things. Elephants that can draw themselves on an easel. That happened, what, 20 years ago. So they're going to show us that there's so much more than being a retail shopper and having stuff. So,
Somebody had said that the frequency of the planet was going up and that animals were along for the ride, plants as well. And we'll bring in dolphin consciousness. That's something in the summer of 2024 I got exposed to for the first time. It's fun. But somebody had pointed out that dolphins have been around forever and the brains for a million years forever.
yep.
And
Hmm.
they may be way beyond what we've ever given them credit for. And I'll have to refer to, I don't know if Roberta Goodman's show is out, but she swims with dolphins and whales and takes people
Hmm.
all over the world for the same. Now, Hawaii's gotten a little strict and limiting and control oriented right now. So she's moved to Florida after 30 or 25 years there. But she had an experience where she was back when she was working at either a research or a tourist place with dolphins in a tank. She's cleaning the tank, has a mask on, and she's chatting with the dolphins, sort of. The dolphin offers a ride. And I know that she's wearing a mask. She said she doesn't have a way to
Hmm.
explain it today. But when the dolphin took her for a ride around the tank, all the resistance of the water disappeared. And it was like a vortex of just movement, but as if it was in air, not water. You have to watch the show and find Roberta Goodman to hear about that. Let me do, did we just do Red Shirt? We did
No,
not.
we haven't.
He's the
No.
gentlest mom in the world. Compassion, compassion, compassion. So soft
Mhm.
spoken. Wearing a
Mhm.
U.S. presidential medal. Lakota Sioux chief, historical figure.
Mm,
Here, the softest, gentler reminder for us all about maybe being in the heart.
well,
What do you get?
he wants me to tell two quick stories. Is that okay? They're
Yes,
quick.
please.
Because likened to what you were saying earlier, I have always believed that. I believe there will come a time in humanity we will all get on our knees and apologize for the animal, the ocean, for all the kingdoms of our unwillingness to see that in so many ways they are more evolved than we are, and they always have been, and they were here first. But that being said, quick story, Anthony Lawrence, true story, worked in Africa. He supported the elephants. He was an activist. He stood for their lives, et cetera, et cetera. He died. And shortly thereafter, elephants came from miles and miles and miles and miles and stood in front of his home and wept. It's a true story. You can look it up, Anthony Lawrence, and there they are. And you can see the packs or herds of elephants that came that intuitively knew the friend that had saved their lives, that he had moved on. So I have seen many a person cry when they see that imagery. Another is on YouTube, the jaguar named Diablo and an animal communicator, Anna, came in. They brought her in. It was a refuge rehab place for tigers and cubs and the ones that the zoos didn't want, etc. And so she came in, and the guy thought, oh, what kind of goofy thing is this, right? And she talks to Diablo that they couldn't let him out of the cage. And every time they would say something to him, he would, you know. And that being said, she talked to him and she said he doesn't like his name. He doesn't like his name. He doesn't like the name Diablo. It has a mean-spirited name. And by the way, he also wants to know about the cubs that he shared space with before you came and got him. And the man is crying. You can watch it on YouTube. It's amazing. And he named him Spirit. It still makes me cry. He named him Spirit, and he found out about the cubs and gave him the report, and then ultimately brought the cubs that are now grown to live there in the refuge with Spirit. And once he started calling him Spirit, he came out of the cage.
Oh, I love this.
Hmm.
Okay, in that light, we're getting to dolphin consciousness in just a second, but we're going to do Geronimo. I've got the younger photo of Geronimo. He looks tough. He's action, dry wit, humor, lightning bolt, slang, not formal, proper, yes, no, like the other two. Here's
Oh, yes,
Geronimo.
Geronimo,
Action.
absolutely.
Yep. Anybody at home wants to put their hand out, they can feel the vibe on their hand, but get it on your back as well. Catch a sacred scent. Hear music if you want. Close your eyes and see a vision. What will you allow for? That's always the rub. What are you getting from Geronimo as a reminder?
The importance to be open. It's kind of our daily theme today, isn't it?
As Chogyam Trungpa would say, opening openness. And now is always the occasion. I'll see if I can find that quote if I remember. But here's dolphin consciousness. I want to catch a
Yeah.
whole vortex of love all around you.
Mm.
And if you want to close your eyes and see dolphins, you can see Joy as the angel as a pink one, swimming with them. If you want to close your eyes, you can catch a vision of some sort. Breathe extra. Anyone needs help at home, exhale like a whale. But now we're about dolphins.
Dolphins, yes.
And are you feeling a little extra consciousness coming in?
Totally.
Good. And what's our reminder here?
Well, when you think of the ocean and the dolphin energy, you think of the willingness to be vulnerable and to feel safe and comfortable. That's the dolphin energy. And for me, we think of that we are 90% water. The planet is, as well as our bodies reflect that, is that we are beings that are designed to be at depth within our own energy. And I hold that for everyone, that this is the gift we give ourselves, is to go deeper so that we may expand and feel greater joy.
You help them explore their depths. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, okay, I've got an elephant for you. We're going to step into a new area for me, but elephant consciousness asked Joy and Archangel Michael to be our ambassadors here.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll put up the cutest photo of the cutest elephant. They're all cute. But elephant consciousness, let elephant consciousness come in.
Mm-hmm.
And what's the message you're getting straight off the bat?
You are bold, you are mighty, you are brave, and yet you have the tenderness of divine love.
And I have a quote that just jumped to mind that an angel defined what compassion is. Mac, don't call her Mackenzie. She's everything plants, animals, and nature. No wonder she just jumped in. So, Mac, don't call her Mackenzie. Here she is. And she'll
Oh,
hold.
that's the green ball I saw earlier.
Yeah.
Yes,
Oh, now it makes sense. Okay.
right?
Yes. And Max said, what's compassion? Compassion, I mean, there's a million definitions of compassion. We could be here for 50 years. There wouldn't ever have to be two definitions that are the same. Exercise is compassion. Compassion for all is life. Here's Mac. Compassion is treating every moment with the awareness of a newborn baby.
Mm.
Okay, now we're getting to the drum roll, please. We're going to the Amazon jungle. If you don't mind, here's Joy and Archangel Michael plus Mac. If you could let them set the tone for you in a special way, take one look at them and then close your eyes. Be in the Amazon jungle for just a second. See jaguar, whether it's up on a tree limb out in front of you in the forest or in another setup on the other side of the riverbank. Either way, when you're ready, get something from jaguar or feel the energy first come in. And I'll put up 3 photos of jaguar, very special, and we're going to play a little bit. And I'll put up the first photo for folks at home. Here's the very
Mm.
first one. If you want to put a hand out to the right into the open part of the room, feel jaguar fur, but it's a little wiry and short compared to the tiger from India. That's soft and shampooed. And what are you getting from jaguar as a reminder for us all?
Confidence. Look in those eyes. Oh my gosh.
I have another version. She's crossing the stream. And I think there's fluidity would be.
Mm-hmm.
And now what are you getting as a reminder for us all?
Yeah, flow and movement and roll with it.
Okay, and last one, she's in repose, higher up with a good view of everything. And I'm going to do a side tangent. I think in the month of January, coming up in just 3 weeks or so, could be January 12th, there's a Dr. Jonathan Ellerby, PhD. He was head of spirituality, director of spirituality at Canyon Ranch, but he's got a bunch of other um, titles to his career and a bunch of books out from Hay House and elsewhere. Maybe Simon and Schuster. He's fun. But he's been traveling 40 countries, 30 years, and he always has a good story, and I can't get him on enough on the show. But he was sharing an Amazon story where he was going between the master's and PhD. He had just enough time to maybe go to the Amazon. It's back when it was dial up. There's no real internet, so to speak. He typed in some keywords like jungle, Amazon, maybe rainbows is what he typed in. And he saw Gobbledygook, a website that hadn't been set up yet, but some phone number. He calls it, and the people were out of the office on holiday, but they swung by the office. She decided to pick up the phone. They're not supposed to be in at all. And they do expeditions into the Amazon. Get this for synchronicity. And so they're chatting, and they don't do expeditions for the public. They do expeditions for like doctors and nurses and stuff like that because they go to these remote villages and do stuff medically. And that's about it. and she's shooting him down, and they're trying to figure out why they're even on the phone together. And he's only got a little bit of time before he's got to go to class, start up the PhD program. But as soon as he says what his studies are about, indigenous stuff all over the globe, and I think it's a sophisticated coursework that he's taking, she lights up and says, "You're in. Come down here." But they're not allowed to do anything. They can't drink the magic juice. They can go to the ceremony, they can attend, and he does. Three old men are there, and he sticks around. Most of the other people are packing it up. He stays till 2 a.m. They quietly tell him, "Come back one day. You'll figure out a way." And he does. When the program's done, he comes back. They prep him for days. They do this ceremony. He's in a hut. You got to hear it directly. He's in a hut with the three men, old medicine men. And he senses a presence outside the hut, a ball of light that when it comes in the hut and does extra light, that's all he knows. The next day, one of the old men was like, "Did you see the jaguar come into the hut and share its rainbow light with you?" And you can watch him. He closed his eyes and revisited the whole thing on the show and talked to Jaguar Spirit all over again. But he got to experience it the way the old man experienced it, which was beautiful. So with that, I'm putting up a final Jaguar for you to close your eyes and have a little experience in just a second. First, hear what you're going to receive from Jaguar. Hear it crystal clear. Have joy, the angels support you. And when you're ready, if you don't mind putting your hands out off camera to the side, close your eyes, Temple, and let's have a little holiday love all over the globe. Consciousness at the animal level, at the galactic level, how we're all together. And have Jaguar come in and do something extra groovy cool for you. And people at home, if you want to close your eyes, see the jungle, feel the jungle, I'll blow through the microphone, catch a little wind. At least hear Jaguar do a little call, and that you have to look around because you're like, "I don't have one loose. The local zoo didn't let one out." What will you allow for? What did you just get? What can you share with us? That's got to be a little private, but what did you get?
It's about dancing, really. Just allow your spirit to dance.
Oh.
And
Well,
you're really good at that.
we'll do one more figure. You get to pick who. I'll try to name some figures. Jesus, Buddha, Muhammad, figures from India, an angel or two. You can say chef's choice. I'll bring in Isabel, great black and white of her. Um, a Native American chief, Einstein, Debbie Ford,
Einstein.
Einstein. You got it. Toyota. And I'll do a public service announcement while I'm looking. If you can comment, what have you enjoyed most about this? Emojis count if you're shy. Uh, Share, like, and subscribe. It's free to subscribe, but you'll get notifications. Hit that notification bell just in case. Here's Einstein. He's awfully funny.
Mm-hmm.
Get something very personal, but say "got it" when you got it. Could be a compliment or a reminder how to have even more fun. And then get something for public consumption. What do we all need to remember? He's so brilliant. What'd you get?
Yeah, well, a painting of him was on the outside of my offices for many, many years, 25 years. And it's great spirits always meet violent opposition from mediocre minds. So it's great spirits. So whenever you may find yourself in a quandary or a space or a wondering or accepting who you are, remember that you're a great spirit and to look at that mediocrity because that is what will shape shift you to the next level of greatness. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. We'll do one final thing. It'll be Joy and Mac. I'll put my hand up in Texas. You put your hand up in Santa Barbara, California. We'll let them handle the high vibes, though. And you're going to feel what you feel in just a second. Yep.
And
And
obviously, it's chilly in Santa Barbara, thus I have on gloves.
got your gloves on, I know. But feel what you can feel. Allow, and if you don't mind using some adjectives, let Joy add a lot of whooshing in there.
Mm.
And what are you getting for adjectives for the people at home?
Freedom, allowing, acceptance.
I love it. Temple Hayes, you're a rock star. Wishing you a
Mhm.
very happy 2025. Lots of angels and surprises galore. When you least expect it, an angel, sparkly eyes, as a human showing up, saying just the right thing. And if you're lucky, you say, "Do you have time for a cup of coffee?" And they say, "Yes, you have the best hour ever." We expect you to share the details, what you can. Here's Joy and Archangel Michael.
Mm.
Make it so. Maybe you're in another American city, Chicago, Detroit, New Orleans, who knows, somewhere, and you have an amazing experience with angels that were in human form. If there's no limits in life, maybe there are really no limits. Temple Hayes, you're fantastic. Thank you for being
So
angels, positivity and love, the APL Spotlight series.
appreciate you so much. Bless you.
Thank you, and lots of love to you.